guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Belle's Books and check out my website www.bellsbooks.co.uk. Today I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide to writing an English literature essay. This is a 10-step process which I use every single time I write an essay. It allows me to make sure I haven't forgot anything, and it makes sure that I've planned out my argument and my entire essay before I begin writing. I genuinely believe that planning out your essays is the best way to improve your marks, which is why I've created this guide for you. So now that we've been through the assessment objectives, I'm going to get into the step-by-step checklist. Step 1 is selecting a topic and text. And if this has been assigned because you're taking an exam or your tutor's given you a topic, then obviously skip this step and go on to step 2. When you're selecting a topic or a text, you should pick the book that you most enjoyed reading or that left you with the most questions and thoughts. After you've picked your text, brainstorm the key ideas and themes and consider what stood out to you most, and then you can turn those ideas into your topic. For example, if I found the theme of transformation really interesting in The Great Gatsby, that could become the topic of my essay. It's not the argument, but it's what I'm going to be writing about in general. Step 2 is analysing your topic. So if your topic was assigned, you can identify the keywords from the question and define them so that you're certain you'll be answering it correctly and covering everything that you need to be covering. If your topic wasn't assigned but you picked it, then break it down into different key areas. During this section, you might also want to consider cross-referencing. What other topics or works have you studied that could be relevant to this particular essay that you're writing today? Do you see similarities in theme, style, or anything else? Do you see important differences? Step 3, gently reading the text. And by gently reading, I mean kind of doing a general, casual read. Now that you understand your topic or you have a good idea of what you're going to be writing about, read the text again. As you read, consider sticky noting pages and quotes that you think will be important to your essay later on. But don't yet get into annotating or analysing, because that is a future step. Step 4, reading secondary texts. And this step is specific for coursework because you can't really go and do this in an exam. You'll want to find secondary sources, which basically means sources which talk about the text or the topic that you're going to be talking about. You'll want to decide whether you agree or disagree with these people. Your secondary sources will help you understand the context of the literature that you're writing about. They'll also give you different interpretations and understandings of that literature. This step might also include finding other novels, poems, or plays which have similar themes and ideas or styles to the text that you're going to be writing about. So step 5, brainstorming your argument. Now that you're incredibly familiar with your text, you're going to want to brainstorm the specifics of your argument. Consider what key perspective you're taking. Consider passages and quotes which are relevant to your argument and support your argument. Brainstorm the different facets of your argument and paragraph ideas. Step 6 is writing a draft of your thesis statement. To me, this is probably one of the most important steps. I genuinely believe that writing a clear thesis statement before you get into planning or writing is incredibly important because it's going to make sure that you shape your essay, that you're arguing towards something. Consider it like this. If you have a thesis statement before you begin your plan, it's like you're going on a hike and you have the directions to get to the castle at the top of the hill. If you don't have a thesis statement, it's more like you're taking a casual walk through a forest. You're not sure where you're going or how you're going to get there, but you know that you want to spend about 2 hours having a walk. So when you're drafting your thesis statement, you should use the brainstorm from step 5 to create it. Pick the strongest ideas which support one argument. This version of your thesis statement doesn't necessarily have to be well written. It's just supposed to give you direction. For example, you could structure it temporarily as I will argue that this, and this lead to this. Structuring it like this will help you make sure that you're actually making an argument rather than just making a statement. Step 7, identifying quotations. Identify the specific quotes that support your thesis statement. Analyze these quotes and annotate them. Consider their importance to your argument and what part of your argument they support. Step 8, writing your outline. So this is the big one. First of all, you're going to want to put that thesis statement you made earlier at the very top of your page, and then you're going to want to think about what paragraphs your essay is going to have. After you've decided the topic of your paragraphs, so say you have 3 paragraphs, that means 3 topics, you're going to want to write the topic sentences for those paragraphs. Draft those topic sentences as I will argue, or this paragraph will argue, statements. This makes sure that each paragraph is relevant to your overall argument and is actually arguing towards a conclusion rather than just chatting about something interesting. After you've done this, you'll want to refine your thesis statement, maybe make it sound a little prettier, and then make sure that your thesis statement and topic sentences all work together to lead towards a conclusion. After you've done this, you should have a few sentences on your page, your thesis statement, and then however many topic sentences as paragraphs that you're going to have. So if you have 5 paragraphs, that would be 5 topic sentences. Your outline should be so detailed that somebody else could write your essay from your outline. You might want to have a couple of different points for each paragraph. Each point should be supported by at least one piece of evidence, and each piece of evidence should be explained. Your explanation could just be a discussion of the quote or the piece of evidence, but it could also be a reference to a secondary source, someone else's opinion, or the context. Step 9 is writing the essay. Obviously, this is just something that you have to slog through, but I do have a couple of writing tips for you. First of all, use the pomodoro technique. This is when you work for 25 minutes intensely and then take a 5-minute break. You might want to go on your phone, you might want to get up, you might want to get a cup of tea during that break, then you come back for another 25-minute session. This really helps you focus and stay on task. The other writing tip I have for you is prioritize getting the words on the page rather than sounding good. So the final step is editing your essay. Go back to your assessment objectives and ensure that you're meeting them appropriately. Make sure that your response, that your essay is engaging, is interesting, is personal, it's unique. You use advanced literary vocabulary and you don't have grammatical errors. I now have a couple of editing tips for you. I'd recommend, if you have access to a printer, printing out your essay so that you can edit it by hand. The next tip is read it aloud. If you read your essay out loud, you'll spot the grammatical errors and the things that just don't sound quite right. You might also want to put it in a different font. Sometimes if you've been staring at a page or a document for so long, you just kind of go blind to what you're looking at. Using a different font will help refresh your mind. You're also going to want to check that you don't use the same vocabulary again and again. I'm going to insert the link to a great website that will help you make sure that you're not repeating words. For example, I am obsessed with the word thus when I write essays. I use it like 8 times in a paragraph. If you have words that you rely on, like consequently, therefore, whereas, you might want to go back and consider how you can rephrase the sentence so that you don't keep repeating the same vocabulary. In this step, in the editing stage, you're also going to want to search up your referencing system to ensure that you're following the correct guidelines. So this is my 10-step guide to writing an English literature essay. Using this checklist has been so helpful to me, and I really hope it will be for you too. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!